our next guest, I think this is a great appointment for North Adelaide Footy Club.
Well, anyone can be an assistant coach. Cage takes courage to go straight into the driver's seat. Don't you worry about that.
Having had the pleasure of working with this next gentleman, he says what he thinks, and he's got an opinion, and he'll stick by it.
All right, he played 156 games with the Power Cage. He was an All-Australian Magarey medalist, so runner-up to the Brownlow medal, so he's got most things covered.
I umpired his old man. Oh, he was a bloody nightmare, his old man.
It's funny, he's never mentioned that. He's never mentioned that to me. We talk about Josh Francou. Josh, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yes, now, mate, obviously the first thing in coaching, you're concerned about your hair loss, so you're going to lose a whole lot more.
There's not a huge amount to lose, though, Phil. So.
No, well, I'm with you. Just so I warn you, I just wanted you to know what you were stepping into. Now, mate, you debuted with the club back in '93, so obviously played with the club. We know your father was involved with the club. There's history there. To step back in and take the coaching role is pretty exciting.
Yeah, look, it is. And look, I guess it all stems back when I was a really young kid and used to drag Dad along to all the North Adelaide games. I remember going to the 85, 86 grand final, was just, devastated that they got beaten by the Bays, and then in 87, they obviously had a victory in the grand final. That was just the biggest thrill of my life. So it sort of stemmed back from then. Obviously, as I went through my high school days, I was committed to play for the school footy, which was at Pontney Grammar School, and once I left school, I went out and played a year of 19s, and then I think it was 3 years in the seniors after that. 4 years in the seniors after that. So, to come back to the club where it all began and the club that I grew up loving, if you like, it's a huge thrill for myself.
Josh, when did you start to think about coaching? Because you've been working at Radio 5AA and writing for the Advertiser and doing some terrific work in the media. When did you start to think about you want to go down the coaching path?
Yeah, look, KG, it's interesting too. I remember I did my whatever you call it, the press conference, if you like, when I pulled the pin on playing for Port Adelaide. And I guess looking back over the last 4 years of my playing career, it was very hard emotionally and obviously physically. I wasn't at my peak and struggled to play my best footy. So emotionally it was hard. And I guess at that press conference, I remember saying that the last thing I could ever think of doing was coaching footy. So I decided just to get away from it altogether. And obviously the work in the media, working with AA, obviously alongside yourself, Cage, it kept me involved in the game and doing a bit in Channel 10 and in the Advertiser as well. It kept me going to games. Now, look, I've got a young family and 3 young boys who keep me busy at home. So if I didn't have that media outlet, I probably wouldn't have gone to many games, just through, I guess a little bit restricted.
Yep.
But, having said all that, I suppose a couple of years ago, and I didn't make this public, there was a part of me that, I thought that I would like to have a go at it. And no doubt, I've been criticised, I suppose, that I've been quite outspoken in my views and the way that I think the game should be played and what comes to creating a successful side. And I guess there's a part of me a big part of me that I wanted to put that into practice, and now I've got the opportunity to do that.
Well, that's funny. Phil's got the next question, which I think is a fantastic question. It's applicable to you, Josh.
I said you've been working in the media. A lot of guys take that role in the media and they take a fair few pot shots at players and coaches and have an opinion, but then they don't have the courage to step in and put themselves in that seat to see what it's about. And I admire you for doing that. Of course, in saying that, you've got to understand now that those blokes are going to take some shots at you.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. It's a fun part of the job. No, the fact that you put your hand up, and we see a lot of guys I know, look, Gerard Healy was one, Gary Lyon comes to mind, guys that do that side of things but then don't want to step into the hot seat. I admire you for having a crack at it.
Yeah, well, look, and I know that'll come my way, and but having said that, I think if you've got a strong belief in what you're trying to do and the direction you're trying to take the club, then what other people say, that's just part of the deal. But if you're confident in what you're doing, then that shouldn't have any impact.
All right, I read in your article that you said you wanted to create an environment where work was hard, but they enjoyed it, which is the best and most successful formula without doubt. Always comes with winning. It seems to make it a lot more enjoyable when you're winning. So do you understand the fine line, how difficult it will be to get to that?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And again, that sort of belief and philosophy, if you like, comes from my playing days and, throughout North Adelaide and in more recent years with Port Adelaide, that we had a winning culture down at Port Adelaide, and it was just a great time to be involved in the footy club. And I remember back in 2000 that when it was a pretty lean year, and the side was struggling, we were copping a lot of criticism. It wasn't all that nice a place to be around, if you like. So look, there's no doubt that winning does help that. That's obviously a key factor in all of that. But at the same time, you can't get to winning games without hard work. And look, I understand that the SNFL is semi-professional, if you like, and these players come from a full day of work, and a lot of them are probably tired when they get to training. But I guess to make it enjoyable, to work hard and hopefully get the rewards and just make it a fun place and an enjoyable place to be around.
Exactly. Josh, your dad, Morris, played for North Adelaide. What influence did he have on you making this decision?
Yeah, look, when I first, I guess, gave it a serious consideration, I did speak to Dad about it. Look, he's been coaching at SAFA level back in the old days. I know he coached out at 2 Worlds and reserves at North Adelaide and Waterloo Farm. I think he finished at St Ramblers, and so he's been involved in the system, if you like, for a number of years. And he was very supportive, which was a huge positive for me. And again, he's someone that, being a first-year coach, he's a resource that I can use.
Correct.
Going forward.
And you still took the job after everything he told you.
Yeah.
Typical kid. They never listen to their parents, do they? Josh, I see you're going to chat with Roger James at some stage. You had an opportunity to catch up with him yet and see whether he's interested in the job?
Yeah, look, I have had a brief chat to him. It's not something that I've flagged my interest with him, because I think he knows the game well. He's a really good mate of mine, and I appreciate that he's still. I think he's still in contract with the Barossa Footy Club that he coached this year, and so I appreciate that as well. But look, he's someone I have flagged my interest in, and if he decides to, that's obviously entirely up to him. But he would be great to get on board, because, as I said, he does know the game and he would offer so much.
And Josh, will you lose many players that perhaps now as coach you would have liked to have kept from the side last year?
Yeah, look, obviously Damon White's gone back to Perth. There's a question mark over Reece Archard. I know he's gone back home, and there's a question mark whether he'll come back, so I'm not 100% sure there. But apart from that, I think the list will be pretty settled. So I guess that's a positive from my point of view.
Exactly.
Josh, we listened to Bob Thompson a little bit earlier in the show talking about the relentless day-to-day business of being a coach. You've got a teaching background at the moment. Will you be able to combine both, or you've got to take a break from teaching?
Look, I will take a break from teaching. It's one of those things, and it is a part-time role at North Adelaide, and I think that at times, I think if it was a full-time role, you'd almost be trying to fill the days in with probably stuff that you don't need to do.
Exactly.
So, yeah, look, and again, I go back to my playing days. I'd probably play my best footy when I had other outside interests. So I'll still be able to do relief teaching at the school at St Peter's that I'm teaching at the moment, and I guess it'll be a good outlet away from the footy. But yeah, teaching will take a back seat for, indefinitely.
Well, Josh, good luck. I think it's a fantastic appointment for yourself. Good for North Adelaide. I hope you do extremely well, and we'll certainly follow your progress with a great deal of interest. Josh, good luck.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Good on you, Josh.